In this video, I'm going to share with you one thing that you can implement in the morning every day, and it will transform your life. I've done this multiple times throughout my life, and every time I did it, things shifted in a way that I couldn't have imagined. Hi, my name is Martin, and I made it my purpose here to share with you openly, authentically, without holding back, unapologetically, about my life experiences, my learnings, with the hope to inspire you to live a self-led life, to finally get into that driver's seat of yours and not stay in the passenger seat of life, and live with purpose and fulfillment through all the ups and downs that life has to offer. And today's topic is really all about that, taking charge of your life, taking charge of your destiny. I've shared this with a lot of people in my personal environment and with a lot of my clients. And every time they implemented it, it was just life transforming. And like I said in the beginning, I've done that multiple times in my life. And the first time I came across it was 2018. It was roughly the time when I went through a breakup where I was like in a narcissistic relationship and I was broken up with. And back then I was like, you know what? I have two options. I can either give up on life, where I just go through the motions and just live like a robot, turn off my emotions, which essentially doesn't really work. But that was like my thought process. Or I can really change my life and dive deep into self-development. I did that and it was incredible. I came across this book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And if you don't know this book, I highly recommend it. It's one of those books, like I picked it up and I was like, okay, this is from like page one. I couldn't really put it down anymore, and I was like, I'm gonna implement that because what he's sharing in there is just amazing. And everything that he shared in that book, when I implemented it, I was speechless. I haven't done it on a regular basis, like where I'm doing it every single day for like years. This is something that has come up like frequently in my life, but I can absolutely feel a difference during the times where I implement it and the times where I don't. Hal Elrod calls it the life savers because it really saves your life, your spiritual, emotional life, and to a certain degree also your physical life. Basically, what it is, it's a way to start into your morning where it's not about other people, where it's not about you getting ready for work. It's not about you doing something for anyone around you, but taking time out of your day, and not just any time out of your day, but the first 30 minutes to an hour for yourself. And that word, here it is again, self. It's not a narcissistic thing. It's not an egoistic thing. It's really all about self-love and self-worth. Why? But why is like focusing for like 30 to 60 minutes, an hour in the morning connected to self-love and self-worth? Let me share you what happened to me recently so that I can give you kind of a picture of how it can really change the way you show up. As you know, probably if you've seen my previous videos, in the beginning of the year I went through a very, very, very difficult breakup. I thought this person was the person for me, for life. For me, if I commit to someone, I commit. I'm not holding back, and I tend to really go all in with my feelings. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, don't do that so early on in a relationship. Well, I did. And it's kind of part of who I am. I don't hold back. I feel like holding back is it goes so against my nature and who I aspire to be that in this situation also I went like all in and I got my heart broken. And for a few weeks, and I'm getting emotional even though I've been through a healing process, but it's still touching me. It's not like I said um, previously as well, is like healing is not a straight line. It has its ups and downs. Like there's days where you feel amazing, and then there's days where you just feel like something triggers you. But what I want to share with you is like how that morning, kind of like that morning ritual, if you want to call it like ritual, changed from where I've been in the beginning of the year to where I am right now. So in the beginning of the year, I didn't have any hope left. I didn't see myself like, how am I gonna continue? I felt absolutely lost. I felt like I've never felt that way in my life before. And I know there's experiences in life that are way more traumatic and more impactful and painful. But for me, that was just so devastating. And I just saw black. Like there was nothing in in my mind where I was like looking forward to. I didn't eat for a couple days. I was just so devastated. And usually I'm someone who, when something happens on the outside, I find a way to process it, to utilize it and use it so that I can grow and learn. But in this moment, I wasn't able to. I was really like something within me really, really blocked me. And I just felt at a complete loss. And there was one benefit I had in that moment, and that was the memory of the breakup I had in 2018 when I was dating a narcissist. Back then, I like narcissists have a way of making you feel like you're their soulmate, their twin flame, their life partner, and like you are the only one for them. When essentially it's the opposite. They don't give a fuck about you. And that realization back then, that there was really no feelings from the other person, and that I fell for someone who just emotionally abused me. It took me a while to get over it, to move on, to heal. And to a certain degree, the breakup in the beginning of this year also triggered something from back then that was unhealed that I could then heal step by step. But the memory of back then, that I also felt very, very lost, not as lost as in the beginning of this year, but I felt very lost. And I was like, well, if I was able to move on and grow in such an amazing way back then, I can do it now as well. And I was looking at things that in the situation in 2018 helped me to get through this experience, to get through this heartbreak. And that's when what was roughly around that time where I came across that book, Miracle Morning. And I was like, okay, I don't have to do the whole thing, because I didn't care about working out. I didn't care about like reading too much. Like there's so many things that I was just like, I don't care. I don't want to do this. This is too much. But there's two things that I did every single morning for, I don't even know how many weeks it's been. Like it's been a few months now. I think there was just like 1 or 2 days in between where I didn't do it, and I'm going to share with you as well like how that like there was a shift on those days, and I could feel a complete difference compared to the other days. What I did every single morning was I set my alarm at 5:30 in the morning. Even if I had appointments later on, but I set my alarm at 5:30 in the morning. I didn't hit the snooze button. I didn't like go back to sleep or anything. I set it for 5:30 in the morning, and then I immediately started meditating. And I did two meditations. One was to visualize the day, which was quite hard for me because I was like, how, like, with all those emotions, how am I going to visualize my freaking day? I don't even know how I'm going to feel in the next 5 minutes. But step by step, I was able to really go into the feeling I want to have. Like, how do I want to experience the day? But the other meditation that I did that had like the biggest impact out of any meditation I've done so far was the frame technique, which is basically you looking at a candle flame, and then you feel the separation between you and the candle flame when you breathe in, and then you feel the connection to your environment when you breathe out. That it's like such a simple meditation, and it really helped me to like take back my power, to tune back into myself, to really feel safer and safer within my body. The thing is, I did that in the morning. I often did it like also in the evening. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you connected to the topic today is when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to do meditation. I recommend that you do meditation and visualization, but you don't have to. But what I urge you to do is that you take the first 30 to 60 minutes every single day to do something for you, something that you love, something that helps you grow, something that kind of fuels you, like your life energy. Because that is like one of the biggest signs of self-love and self-worth that you can give yourself. I know the question is like, why? Why would that show like self-love if I just meditate in the morning or do something in the morning? Why? Because you put yourself first on your calendar. You are the first appointment you have that day. You are having a meeting with yourself every morning. Not your boss, not your coworkers, not anyone in your family or friends, not social media. Please do not use social media first thing in the morning or watch the news, because the morning, like when you wake up, your like the brainwave state that you're in, you are so receptive for outside influence. And when you read the news, when you have like any kind of negative influence from your environment, it's going to set your day up with negativity, and it's going to take you a while to get out of that, if at all. But if you first thing in the morning tune into yourself, ask yourself, how can I start my day today that shows me that I'm there for myself first? What is it that you love to do where you're like, oh, usually I don't really have time for it? Do that in the morning. So many times when I committed to that practice in the morning, I was eating healthier because I started cooking. I was taking care of my body in a way better way through mobility exercises or stretching or like a short workout. I played the piano. I listened to like language courses. Disclaimer, not in the past few months after the breakup, because the only thing I really focused on was meditation so that I can find and connect with myself. But the other times where I did that, like started the morning for me, I did things that I loved, like playing the piano, even if it's just for like a few minutes. But I showed up for myself and I said, I am priority. Because the thing is, no matter what happens throughout the day, you can then look back and say, well, whatever happened, but I showed up for myself in the morning. What so many people struggle with is they get up in the morning to go and work for someone else, which is absolutely fine. If you love your job or if you need to support your family or yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. But Even the process of getting ready, you don't do it for yourself, but you do it for someone else, to go to work, to show up there, to look the way you want to look when you go to work. It's all connected to the outside, to others. And very, very often, then when you don't really have that kind of self-love practice in the morning, you are very receptive to whatever happens throughout the day. And let's be honest, how many times did you say, I'm going to work out in the evening, or I'm going to meditate in the evening, or I'm going to do whatever in the evening? And then you came home and you were like, oh, I'm tired. I rather chill. I'm going to take it slow. Like, how many times did you then talk yourself out of doing something for you other than relax and get over the day that you had? But if you start implementing even one thing, first thing in the morning, no matter what the day will bring, you have already done something for you. And that seems like such a small thing. But if you do that over and over and over again, it's going to have an impact on you like you've never experienced before. I've done that, like I said, over the past few months where I meditated. I really committed to that meditation practice every single morning, except for a couple days. Those couple days where I didn't do it, I felt weird. I felt like I was disconnected from myself. I felt more anxious. I thought more about my ex. I was like, oh my God, I miss him. I want to reach out. Like, I was so disconnected to myself. And on those days, and I'm not lying, weird things happened that kind of made me feel like I'm going backwards. The next day I did it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do that meditation again. The next day I did it, and I felt a huge difference. And it's not just the meditation, it's the showing up for myself, where it was like, I get up in the morning and I'm there for me. I show up with love, with respect, showing myself I matter. My heart matters. How can I expect someone else showing me love and kindness and respect and showing up for me if I don't do it for myself? Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for your calendar opening up. Don't wait for if you feel like it in the evening. Commit to starting now. Tomorrow, when you get up in the morning, set your alarm 30 minutes before you usually get up and do something that you love. And you will thank yourself later. I promise you. Because every time I've done that, things have shifted. The way I felt about myself shifted. The way I was showing up in life shifted. The people I met, it was just amazing, the ripple effect it had. So start implementing it. Start by commenting, I commit. Affirm it. The first thing that you can do is to affirm it, to say, I'm in it. I commit to it. I commit to my life. I commit to being the change that I want to see in my own life. And if you do that, you will shift. You will transform. And you will, like a year from now or 6 months from now, you will look back and you won't recognize yourself anymore. Because you have then become your own best friend. You have become someone who loves yourself despite what's going on the outside. You are someone who then commits or has committed to showing up for you, making yourself a priority. All right, if you like this video, please like, share, and comment. It would mean the world to me. And as always, I hope to see you in the next video. Much love and a big hug.